All right, guys, so let's talk about the power of storytelling. So, one of the biggest mistakes that I've been doing for the longest time is not pausing and not telling the stories in a way that starts out from fact. So, guys, there's a fun study that if you start out your there's a fun study that was taking place in Stanford University where they interviewed lots of people and asked them questions such as, they interviewed a bunch of people, and what they did is they did like a little test where they measured how people react to stories that starts out from a real fact and then kind of expand into whatever it is that story tells versus stories that start out with like non-fact. So the results were shocking. 96% of the people were managed to retain information a lot better in comparison to like people who in comparison to any other kind of stories that did start out with fact. So fun fact, Threads introduced Dear Aldo. And what is that? It's a way for you to finally fix your positioning on Threads. So that would be an example of starting out the story from fact. Now, how do I tell those stories? Like, what is the mechanics behind it? Obviously, I didn't drill into it to explain a bit more info. I kind of just talked about it and gave you guys the tea. But if you want to see an example of how this story plays out, take a look at my TikTok. I dropped a video for you, link in the bio, for how to do this, for how to tell those stories, guys. How to tell them in a way where it finally makes sense. Okay. Thank you. All right. So the power of storytelling. What I'm about to do, guys, is shock you. Did you guys know there's a fun fact, a fun study that was done by Stanford University, where they put a bunch of people in a room, bunch of students in a room, and and what they did, they gave them a little test, and this was a test. They uh, started telling stories, and what they did is they showed a story that started out with a fact, a real fact, versus like a nothing versus non-factual story. And they measured the difference between what would be, how receptive students were when the story started out with a real fact versus just be like, rambling and be like, yeah, I wish I could do this, but I gotta think about this or whatever. The results were shocking. 96% of the students managed to retain information a lot better just because the story started out with the actual info. And of course, low percentage of students manage to retain information in situations where the story started out with, rambling or something non-fictional or something questionable. Yeah, I figured I'd just tell you this. But wait, wait. There's more. What is that? Well, guys, look, and thank you guys for jumping into this live and getting all the tea. I'm actually heading out to get a cranberry muffin and taking you guys with me and telling you guys the tea. Okay, so obviously when I discovered this tea, I was like, man, there gotta be more. Is there any other tea? And of course, there's another tea in addition to this. The biggest secondary tea beyond starting from something factual is, ta-da! It's called pause. Heck, I'm already seeing the difference now. Holy smokes. Man, I can't believe how easy it is. So let me get this straight. For the past 2 years, I created more content than Neil deGrasse Tyson in this channel, where on average I would be getting 1 to 2 views every single video, only to discover none of that works. Unless I combine together those things that I just described. But wait, there's more. There's more. There's a third concept. Not only should you be starting off the story with something real, something factual, not only should you be pausing, but you should also be hitting those quirks, those intonations, or those elements of you in the mix. So yeah, guys, so that's the real tea. And the funny part is you're really seeing this tea being unfolded right in front of you. And now that I got the coffee, guys, I'm actually gonna go out and get a cranberry muffin. But wait, there's more. The summarization technique, the very same summarization technique that and what am I doing? Well, guys, I'm actually heading out to get a cranberry muffin. Kind of cooked. I spent a little bit of time yesterday trying to figure out all sorts of things, watching neuroscientists, Stanford people, astrophysicists, and all sorts of people trying to figure out the meaning of life. Roblox? No, absolutely not. Yeah, can I get a cranberry muffin with butter toasted? Cranberry muffin with butter toasted?
For muffin toasted with butter toast.
Yep.
Butter, anything else?
That's it.
And then I have an egg.
Cranberry. Yep.
Sugar.